just loose thoughts grouped together as I was just like journaling about my experience.
Yeah.
Um, what I've written here is Flex and Paint is such a special community that helps you connect with your body. We went through fitness and painting and drawing techniques, and we learned how interconnected all these practices are, which is not something I thought about beforehand. But after going through this program, I see how deeply connected these are. I already had an understanding of art to a certain extent and how to move my body when painting, but I've had this anxiety and this uh, inability to get past this hurdle of feeling like I can move my body uh, for fitness.
Yeah.
And learning about the connection and the link between those was crucial for me in breaking through some barrier I've been carrying around for ever since my childhood, um, where I felt like I finally understood how moving my body for fitness is actually something that I could do and that I already had the understanding of how to approach. I just needed the guidance of seeing how I already had that inside through this program. When I started this program, I was so scared to lift free weights. I didn't even consider joining a gym because I lacked the confidence. I would walk into any fitness space and just feel overwhelmed, feel anxiety. Be like, this is just clearly not for me. I'll go back to drawing in my sketchbook. Um, and then in the first or second week, Kevin told us to just hold something heavy in our hands and see how that felt in our bodies. And that unlocked something major for me, something where I was like, oh, that's what that feels like. I know it sounds so simple, but I don't think I would have ever tried starting there. I always, as a very uh, organized person, I always tried to find a way to, oh, I'm going to do this exercise and do it this way, just like the video that I saw on YouTube that said to do it this way, that the book said to eat this much protein and lift this heavy. Um, and yeah, I, I can't believe here I am 8 weeks later. And if you had told me this before, I would have never believed it. But I've signed up for my local gym. I've been going 3 days a week and I'm enjoying it. And I think a huge part of that is because I can walk up to something heavy and know how it's going to feel in my body and enjoy how it makes me feel in my body. I've never had that before. That's something that was unlocked through Flex and Paint for me. Um, I know it sounds simple, but it just reframing and rethinking about how I approach fitness has changed everything for me and was worth the price of admission alone.
Sweet.
That's what I've written. Just loose
Okay.
thoughts of how things
Yeah.
are, my
Awesome.
experience.
That sounds good. I wrote down some questions while you were speaking about it because I think I found that it helps to get into a little bit of a dialogue around it so that we can have it be like
Natural.
a little bit more natural. And
Yeah.
then I think that what you have written is great. So we'll try to like use that as the main meat of it. Like you said, you had some amount of fear for going to the gym, or you try it and you didn't really like it. So can you tell me more about how you've felt that experience of trying to go to the gym and how it was difficult for you in the past before Flex and Paint, and like more about just what that
Yeah,
looked like for you and your current experience or your past experience with the gym?
absolutely. This is like, I think, deep rooted in my childhood. I mean, I was always the kid that was sketching in the corner and not playing out sports with all the other guys or whatever at recess. I was always sitting doing my thing. And so I think there was a natural buildup of that's not my space to occupy. And whenever I would walk into a gym as an adult trying to get healthy, trying to get in shape, I got restruck with that feeling of I don't belong here. This is not my identity. I'm the artist. I'm the thin guy. I want, like, I don't participate in sports. I don't participate in working out. Um, and even though I would approach those places with the intention of going to work out, I did not have that there was a mental hurdle of committing to it, of feeling like I wasn't making a fool of myself or embarrassing myself when I would try to lift something heavy and was unable to do it like all the people around me. And then I just would just always shrug it off and be like, I guess it's not for me.
Yeah,
That's where I was before Flex and Pain.
definitely. And how do you feel like your identity has changed now that you've gone through Flex and Paint? And what actions are you taking in accordance with that? Like I know you approached me saying that you had the intent to start lifting weights, to start building muscle. How do you feel like that's going now?
It's going great. I feel like we worked through a lot of the identity work in weeks 1 and 2, where we literally wrote identity statements and worked through this idea of the story you tell yourself and the persona you build. And it felt I was skeptical when we first started doing it, to be honest. I was like, okay, we're just gonna write down I'm someone who works out and I'll do it. And then it felt so natural to shift into that mindset. And then because there were exercises that followed up on it that reinforced that identity of I was working out 3 times a week because I was doing it for this program. Like, wow, I am someone who worked out. And I was doing it in the privacy of my home with the weights that we ordered at the beginning of the program. Um, and it slowly, it was, and I know it's only been an 8-week program, but just those first couple of weeks, I was building up this confidence and this uh, familiarity with holding heavy things and seeing how they felt, how my body reacted to that. And sometimes it was too heavy and I'd stop. And then in my one-on-ones with you, you would tell me to like carry weights from room to room just so that they're always there. So I always had them when it felt like there could be a moment that I could hold it instead of it being so structured and organized, which is how I typically approach stuff. Um, and it just made it all feel natural. And now at the end here, it feels so natural for me to lift heavy things, to work out. Feels more into who I am as a person. Um, and it feels great. It feels really great.
Yeah, that's awesome. I'm glad to hear it. And you were telling me that you joined the gym at your workplace and you went with your coworker and you're
Yeah.
feeling like you have more confidence and competence. Can you tell me more about what you felt like contributed to that and how that difference feels from when you first started versus now?
Yeah, I think that there's a couple different layers to it. One is the community that we built here, where I think we would hop into these calls with me and the other Flex and Paint members, and we would talk openly about working out and what it felt like and what we were struggling with it and what we enjoyed about it. And that just normalized talking about it. I think all the other times I've tried to work out before I've done it, it's been so lonely. It's in my head and it didn't feel like something I did with other people or could do with other people or talk about with other people. And then, you know, 7 weeks into this program, when my coworker was like, "Do you wanna come to the gym with me?" I was like, "Yeah, I know how to talk about working out with other people and what that feels like, and it feels good and it feels normal." And so I was like, "Yeah, let's go." And so then we've been going to the gym 3 times a week for the past 3 weeks now. Um, and so it just feels yeah, it removed the barrier of the embarrassment or not knowing how to talk about it. I also knew what to talk about. When I was in the gym, I was telling him, I was like, "Oh yeah, we don't want to like we have different energy levels that we don't want to burn out of these certain muscles. So we should start with this." And like I could speak with confidence and with knowledge about what we should do when we walk into the gym.
Right.
Um, yeah, with the expertise that you taught us that we built up together in this program.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm glad to hear it. And so, in your words, who is somebody that you would recommend Flex and Paint for? I know that you
Yeah,
described
from
you
my
had your
yeah,
own past identity, that you felt like you didn't feel like the person who was keen on going to the gym or comfortable in the gym. Is that generally the person that you would advise to participate, or do you have other facets that you would recommend?
absolutely. I think that there's a current model out there that you could probably see like dime a dozen of the we're going to get you jacked, come work hard and you'll transform your body, and it's like go, you could just see it everywhere. You get these advertisements constantly. I think if you're someone who is not that, if that doesn't align with your identity, if you're like if that doesn't excite you or uh, make you want to get fit, and you want to go somewhere where you're going to be with other people who are there to talk more creatively about how we approach this. If you have a creative mindset, if you're more sensitive, if you have anxiety, if you just want to like be around like-minded people who can talk through what this is like and have that support system, I think that's what Flex and Paint for me. That's what I'd recommend. Flex and Paint for people like me who have always identified as the sensitive artist type, who are trying to get fit, trying to get buff, but can't find where their community is for that.
Yeah,
This is the community for that.
awesome. Yeah, I'm glad to hear it. It's been a good group that we've put together, so I'm happy to have you in here. And like,
Yeah,
what other? So we've talked a lot about all the fitness stuff of Flex and Paint. What other outcomes were you positively surprised by, or what other methods? Like, Was there a specific element of the program that you really liked? Was there something that you didn't really click with that much? Can you kind of walk me through other things that you saw after participating?
Yeah. Well, it was very cool to see how other people, uh, where other people's pain points were, like in the communal aspect of it. We've
Mhm.
seen where other people's pain point, like some people couldn't get past picking up a paintbrush and needed to work through that. And in hearing that from other people's experiences, I was like, wow, that's something I sometimes I don't know where to start on my canvas. And then but I don't even think about that as something that I struggle with or have encountered. And then
Mhm.
to hear you help walk through it with them and see their journey, it's inspiring one. And I just didn't expect that part of it. I didn't expect to be like delighted and excited for the other people in the program and their success and their breakthroughs. I was like, get it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yes. Look at that painting. Look at that workout you just did. So I think the whole identity and watching other people overcome their unique challenges, sometimes it feels like in programs, everybody's trying to get over the same challenge. And what was cool in this program is you could have your own thing that you're working on, and you're still excited and supportive of your peers and the growth that they're making. I think that's something I wasn't expecting that I took away from it that I really enjoyed and was inspiring and made me want to push harder and have my own breakthroughs.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
Um,
great. I do think
yeah,
I'm really happy that pretty much everyone has said to me that the community has been one of their favorite parts
that's
about
so
it. Like
cool.
just seeing
That's cool to
everybody
get other people feel
else's
that way.
approach. Yeah. Yeah. It's been really cool. So
Yeah,
nice.
it's an awesome community. It's a real it's yeah, there's the Discord where we all like chat and then like the weekly calls where we actually get to see face to face and hear what people are going through. And both those have been something I look forward to.
Right. And so what would you say outside of the community, what part of the program do you think did instill the biggest change for you with your goal of trying to be more of a person who goes, lifts weights, does it for your health, does it for your strength? What do you think was the thing that helped you the most for that?
That's a great question. I feel like it was a bunch of little things that led to a moment of saying yes. I don't like when I was like, yes, I'm gonna sign up for a gym. That felt like a huge moment for me because it was so quick. It just happened like, oh, I'm gonna go sign up for a gym. And then you do it and it just happens. I've never done that before. I didn't know what the barrier was, but the barrier was suddenly not there. So it's hard for me to say like when that switch happened. It happened over the course of this 8 week period. Um, yeah, I'm curious what the thing was. I think it was getting comfortable with weights at home first and doing
Right.
that with you and your support. And like I think I went to you one week during our one-on-ones. I was like, oh, I felt shaky. I didn't like that. And you were like, that's normal. I feel that. People feel that. And just being able to work through that. And then we would talk about it in the group setting. People are like, sometimes I can't do it and I reach these limits, and hearing that other people have those same difficulties, I no longer felt self-conscious about it. So I think it was kind of breaking down those walls through you, through the community, and through the exercises that it was some combo of those that helped for that breakthrough. I don't know if there's one specific moment.
Yeah.
Also, for me, as someone who likes painting and feels I don't feel as much of a barrier when it comes to like drawing. I get excited by that. It fills me with joy and excitement because I feel so comfortable. I can break out the paints and start putting them on the canvas or mixing colors, and it feels good. Having you draw the connection of how that can feel with fitness too was a major breakthrough for me. I was like, oh, I thought fitness is something that has to be painful, difficult, and grueling, not
Right.
something that you can enjoy the fluidity and the rhythm of building into your daily life.
Yeah. Yeah. I find it to be a big shame that people approach weightlifting from this perspective of it's going to be suffering, it's going to be painful. And
That's how
there
it's
are
been
points,
sold to us. I mean, for me, like that's
yeah,
I see that all the time on TV, like through the fitness influencers. Like that's usually the story, the narrative that's being told.
totally. So you're finding that now you do enjoy lifting weights, you are having a good time going to the gym.
Yeah, I've been really enjoying it. And it's also like I'm shocked by how supportive everybody is. I think I always thought it would be like a major burden to try to build that into my schedule. And I
Mhm.
just tell people like, I'm going to the gym, I'll be gone for the next hour. And people are like, get it, that's awesome. And I'm like, it is awesome.
Yeah.
It feels good. Um, Yeah, it's it's definitely there were some days this past week where I was like, "Oh my gosh, that's gonna be hard work that I'm about to put in." But then afterwards, I always feel like it's worth it.
Mhm. Totally. Yeah. And there's work involved for sure, like anything,
Yeah.
but as long as you're aligning that it's towards the goal that you have for yourself, like you might as well do it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, very cool. Is there anything else that you want to talk about or that you would say that you got enjoyment out of regarding like our group calls or the community or one-on-ones or the lessons? Um, Trying to think of what else would be relevant for
The mixing paint
somebody
from a
else to
nerdy
know.
paint perspective, it's very fun to see someone who's like puts a lot of effort into mixing and like using a palette knife. I never see people showing how to use a palette knife when
Hmm.
in the oil painting process. I always see the brush to canvas techniques, and it was very fun to see how you. It was an educational and really mind blowing for me to see how you incorporate a palette knife into so much of the work you do. And now I've reached for it as another tool on my tool belt when I'm painting. And I'm like, oh, I can just kind of slash color in there if I really need to get some sort of a edge or uh, texture to it.
Yeah,
Um,
it's good
and
for
it's become a
building
new tool.
contrast.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've never had that before. I never reached for it. I would just maybe mix paint with it, and that's it. But actually using it for a tool for painting was super cool. And it's just cool to see to learn the techniques that you and other people use when painting.
Yeah, hell yeah. Yeah, it's been fun.
Yeah.
I've been thankful for you posting your over the holiday break, all of
Yeah.
the like paintings that you were working on and just seeing
All
everybody's art. It's
13.
been really cool.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
was cool to see that for me too. It was also fun to I was thinking when painting them when I was like for context, I did 13 paintings for different members of my family and friends for the holidays. And I was posting them to our group on the art channel. And I was thinking when I was in my like 12th painting or whatever, and I was losing my mind, uh, I was like, oh man, I'm gonna show this to the group though. And like so it was something that helped push me through and keep me committed to the goal that I had set for that.
Yeah. And I'm curious about you have a good amount of experience with art and less of an experience
Mhm.
with fitness. How would you describe for somebody who is joining or considering joining, what level of experience you felt like you needed to take in to this? Like I've had a couple people say, "Oh, I don't have any experience with painting or I don't have enough experience with weightlifting." What do you have in your mind as like
I'll say
prerequisites?
I had next to zero with weightlifting,
Mhm.
and I had a good amount with painting. And I feel like you approached, and what makes this program so special is the approaching both the same way of being comfortable with movement, setting small achievable goals, um, helping craft your identity around it, removing barrier points. You approach that the same way with both of the programs. So I feel like you could start from zero with either or both of those and still have a fantastic experience in this program. Um, I do, I think like getting comfortable, something I could have done beforehand is like just get comfortable with lifting heavy things and like when you get the supplies just like touch them, like literally just touch them. I feel
Yeah,
like that is like all you need to do before the first lesson. It's like so you have them set, oh, maybe set them up. I feel like people keep things in packaging, and I did that for like the weights would just kind of stay in the corner and be like, I'll need
totally.
those at some point. But when once we removed those and pulled those out of the room and just started actually touching them, I know it sounds so simple, but that's something that you taught me to this program that I did not expect of how simple that simple task could remove such a major barrier. I
Yeah.
saw that with people with painting too, that they were just not starting or touching it. And then once they touched it, it's actually, you don't need experience. You just need to put paint, touch paint.
Yep. I'll just build that momentum somehow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think you could start with zero experience and find so much enjoyment and fulfillment and gain so much from this program with either of those things. I don't think you need experience. Do you think you need experience going into it?
I don't. I think that if you already are like beginner or intermediate, it would be great for you. I think it's not for people who are super advanced if they're like, yeah, I really. But at the
Hmm.
same time, I think a lot of the mindset tools and the mental health aspect of it, where you're viewing lifting and viewing painting from this place of embodiment rather than viewing it as this thing. Because I think you can get to a really advanced level of weightlifting and never
Hmm.
focus that much on your mind muscle connection or your connection to your body as you're lifting. And it's the same with painting. You can make a perfect painting and be stuck in this land of trying to draw straight lines without
And not
actually
realizing it's
enjoying
like the
the brushstrokes.
movement. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree. I think that you can still be advanced at either or both of those things to still pull a lot out of this program when it comes just to like the like you were saying, the mental elements of it, the also drawing the connections between the two things, even if you're not a painter or don't want to be a painter, or if you're not a weightlifter and don't want to be a weightlifter, like the fact that those two things are connected, that we drew so many connections between these two practices helps you start drawing connections to other practices. I forget what this was, but one time we hopped into a call and we were talking about how I forget if it was like making bread or cooking or something. Maybe we were talking about cooking. It's
mhm,
like the rhythm and flow that you can get into that and the movements that you're making with your body while you're chopping and putting it into the pan. It's never once would I think about moving my body while I'm cooking because I'm focused on the food. But this program helps me think about how we're constantly moving our body and in everything that we do, and
totally.
how you can be mindful about that in any practice you're doing.
Yeah, yeah. I'm really happy that everybody seems like they've clicked with that and they've connected with all of the presence and body awareness as a lens to view things. So yeah,
Yeah, it's cool. It's so cool. It's such a cool program. I really hope people sign up and do this because it's I had no clue what to expect going into it, and I'm so grateful and glad I did it. And now that I'm on the other end.
awesome. Well, yeah, I'm happy to have you. So thanks so much, Jake. I appreciate it.
Yeah,
Yeah, very cool. Is there anything else that you have off the top of your head that you would want to talk about or tell somebody about Flex and Paint?
I think I don't know. I don't know. I think it's so interesting because you could really be a different. It's hard, right? Because like keeping it general, like I don't know what people want to get out of it. For me,
Mhm.
as an artist that was looking to move my body, this was the perfect program to do that. And so, but I think you could be any kind of person. You could be the opposite of that and get the same fulfillment out of this.
Yeah,
But for me, speaking as someone who loves art, loves talking with people who are passionate about art, it feels like my community is in people who enjoy art. It was so cool to find a community that had these people in it that enjoy making art and talking about art, but also want to talk about staying in shape and getting in shape. It made that flow naturally instead of me feeling like an outsider with a bunch of people who like talking about getting in shape and not knowing how to engage in that conversation.
yeah, yeah. I'm
That's
glad.
the biggest thing. Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
really excited to get more people in the community for
yeah,
that alone. I think it's been a really good space. So I had two other final questions.
yeah,
One was, I think you mentioned in the past you've done some amount of programs before and they weren't
yeah.
super satisfying to you. Can you talk about that contrast, like what it didn't work
Absolutely.
out
Yeah.
in
That
your
was
past
that's
programs?
kind of what it yeah. What I was talking about earlier was uh there was this program I signed up for. It was like an Instagram ad of get in shape in 90 days or something. Um I was like, let's try it. They matched me with some like personal trainer named who never connected me, like never talked to me one on one. It was always in these uh group settings with like 50 people in the room, 100 people in the room, and you go through this week, you're going to grab this heavy weight, you're going to do this with this, you're going to eat this amount of protein, go, go, go. And like, then it had like this app with way too much information on it where I couldn't figure out what I was supposed to do. I would try to lift the weights. I had like the video. Obviously, I don't look like this person. I don't know how to move like this person. And so I had nobody to give me feedback on how that was going. And I had no forum to share feedback on how it was going, and you would just check it off on the app. And it really turned me off of these programs. It made me skeptical to sign up for any other program in the future because it just was not fun. The community was overwhelmingly large because like you could talk to everybody who was in the program, but there were like hundreds of people in it. So everybody was constantly posting. So there's no meaningful conversation happening.
Mhm.
Um, and it and there was no one-on-one for him to talk to the trainer that you were connected with. Sometimes you could sign up for like an assistant trainer that like worked under him that would like connect with you, and it just I don't know, it was a horrible experience.
Yeah,
Very very different than the community feel of this, where I truly feel like I have friendships I've developed with the small community that we have here, that people who are share similar interests, feel comfortable sharing things that may be anxiety inducing. There's a lot of trust and community and friendship that was built up over these 8 weeks that I felt nothing about. And then also the one-on-one aspect with you as a trainer, like just felt so different. Like it felt like you really saw us each as individual people on our own journeys and trying instead of just like talking at us, waiting for us to take away different things from it. You tailored it for the different approaches that people were going through. And I thought that was so cool, so special.
Yeah. Yeah, it was awesome to get the feedback live and to be able to work with you guys to curate an individual in some capacity experience, but also at the same
Hmm.
time something that works for everybody. So I'm happy as it panned out, and I'm keen on getting more people as they have continued feedback, and we can see how the course evolves. So I'm excited for it.
I'm excited too. I'm excited to see who joins and how the community grows. Because it's I love the people that are there right now, and I'm sure you will just find other amazing people that will help it grow and continue to be a special place
Yeah, awesome.
where people should experience. This is a really cool program, and so I hope it continues to be successful for you because it's awesome, and uh, I hope it's fun for you too. It seemed like it was fun.
Yeah,
Okay, cool.
it's been great. I do really see it as a thing for the long term in that I enjoyed making all the lessons. I enjoyed getting on the calls with you guys, having my schedule open so that we can have one-on-ones and just being in the Discord and chatting about workouts and that kind of thing. Like for me, it's the lifestyle that I'm trying to curate anyway. So
That's awesome. Yeah,
yeah, very
cool.
cool. All right. Well, thanks so much, Jake. I do really appreciate it. So I'll catch you
Yeah,
later.
I'll see you tomorrow, right? 4 p.m.
Yes.
Cool.
All right. Catch you
Yeah.
later.